Quinnicantera?
Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti joins us, 1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.
Paul, I see the commercial with all the hula hoops. You got any of those left?
Oh, we used them all up on the, yeah, that was an unusual one, right?
He's got a commercial where you're talking about jumping through hoops. There must be 1,000 hula hoops.
I think it's one of those trick camera things. I think I just saw one hoop while we were making it, but I have to agree.
Damn you, Pixar.
Hey, Paul, we want to talk about people and Christmas shopping and credit cards. And, man, come January, I get a bill and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. We all kind of fall into the same trap where we want to do the right thing, we think, at Christmas, which is to buy things for people and possibly for some things for ourselves when we're out there, the excitement of the moment. And then the bills start coming in January, early February, and a lot of people turn around and they realize that they're not in a position to make payments on that they can't do it. They're overwhelmed with debt. So one of the things they start looking at is bankruptcy option.
Yeah, that's terrifying, though, to think that,
Well, a couple things here. I'm always curious, we should be responsible as the shopper.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is there any blame on the credit card company who keeps inundating me with these special offers? Do they get some of the blame too here?
Well, it's really a counter-argument to people who don't think that bankruptcy and a pure Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is a pure discharge of your debt, should exist. The counter-argument to that is, that they're not screening these people. They're not looking for income. They're just sort of saying, go ahead and do this. And these interest rates and these interest charges are going to be kind of, we're going to write that kind of small, but 20, 25% interest rates. And so people get in over their heads and aren't quite aware of it. They do take some of the responsibility when there's a Chapter 7 complete discharge of the debt, meaning they don't get paid back.
Right.
But boy, but even the people with the best intentions just can get overwhelmed with this.
Well, let's just say this, though, because I know there are a lot of people out there filing for bankruptcy right now. And you and I talked about bankruptcy at one point, and you had said that bankruptcy was like the one way that the common man has to fight against the big business and credit cards and that kind of thing. It's like it's the only thing that we have because these credit card companies charge so much interest and so much money. And look, I get that we have to be responsible.
Yeah.
But there is no recourse for us as just a hardworking American.
Right, and I do believe in this is giving people a fresh start, because once they're at the point where they can't come back with the monthly service fees and interest charges, they're just barely making those, and there's just no way back from that. And to just keep laying it on people who are, good people, working people who just made some bad decisions, it kind of drives me crazy, because I do see how they've been slightly taken advantage of, even though, make the argument, they just signed up for the credit card, they did the application. But at the end of the day, if you choose to do it and you get approved because again, the rules did tighten up after 2005.
Right.
Bankruptcies are a little harder to achieve, or at least a pure discharge of all the debt. But once you do that, you have a chance then start fresh and be more responsible.
There you go.
Is the stigma of bankruptcy not what it used to be?
Yeah, I guess so. People back in the day, just the pure number of filings make it so common that pretty much you're in a room with 4 or 5 people, and a couple you can be talking about a bankruptcy that they've either gone through or a family member has. It's that prevalent. So,
right.
Yeah, and then, of course, within about 6 to 12 months after filing bankruptcy, credit card companies will start coming at you again. And now you may not get the credit that you want, but in a very short time, it used to be pretty strict. You filed, you had 8 years, you weren't going to get anything.
Right.
Now you start getting car loans and you start getting credit cards pretty soon thereafter.
See, they're preying. Those big companies are preying on you.
Yeah.
You just filed for bankruptcy, and here they are again. They're
right there,
after
and
you.
that's a testament to the reason why you ended up getting caught in the thing in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Paul, someone's listening to us right now, and they're in a predicament, and they're very uncomfortable. What's the first thing they do?
Well, it's funny. The highest filings for the year tend to be in April, and I kind of scratched my head the first time I saw that, tried to figure out what happened. It's this holiday spending. You get the bills in January and February. You start to realize, wow, we're done. We can't do this. We can't pay these bills off. And then you wait till your tax return comes in, and you use that to pay your lawyer and pay for your
right.
filing of the bankruptcy. So it really is a question of trying to avoid it. Go to credit counseling. Work through some other avenues to see if there is a way you can get out of it without filing. It's no picnic to file.
No.
But if they're at a point where they need to do that, they would just go ahead and reach out to numerous. We don't do bankruptcies at our office, but numerous attorneys around who do it, and get a free consultation, and that'll sort of make you figure out whether it makes sense to do it or not.
Real quickly, Paul, I've heard this. I don't have the money to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of money
It's a couple.
involved?
It's a couple grand just to file. I
Is
think.
it?
It can be, and it depends. If you're doing a Chapter 13, you hear these terms thrown out, Chapter 7, Chapter 13. But a Chapter 13 is what they call sort of a personal reorganization, where you pay back your creditors a certain portion of the debt that you owe them. And you can roll some of those fees into that payment plan. It's a 3 or 5 year plan. So the 13 is a little bit cheaper. But, yeah, at the end of the day, that's why when the tax returns come in, more people have an opportunity to file because they can't even come up with the fees to file prior to.
Right.
Brutal.
Well, look, man. To people out there struggling, there are a lot of people out there doing the same
So
thing.
many. Yeah.
So
You're not alone.
yeah, just go and look on the internet. So, hey, Paul, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, man. And of course, 1-800-LAW-1010 is the phone number. 1-800-LAW-1010.com is the website.
We'll talk to you next week. All right, brother?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
See you,
Paul.
bro.
Paul Harding on the show.